Students, we were discussing about the stereochemistry of E2 reaction, and I told you that as far as the stereochemistry of E2 reaction is concerned, this is basically more stereospecific, and it will also have regioselectivity. And when I was talking about the stereochemistry, I told you that the two groups which will eliminate, they must be having the anti-periplanar geometry. They must be anti to one another. And I also told you that in case of acyclic system, there are various conformations, and a variety of conformations a molecule can attain, and elimination will happen from the conformation which is stable and in which the both groups are anti to one another. But when we talk about the cyclic system, at that time, the two groups which are anti to one another, as I was telling you about this case, that is, here you are having this chlorine and this hydrogen, and there is another hydrogen. So this hydrogen is anti to this chlorine, so it will be eliminated, not this one. So you can get the product in major quantity and one product in minor quantity. Similarly, when we talk about the six-membered rings, in case of six-membered rings, for example, this is a case in your screen that this is chlorine and this is hydrogen, and these two are axial to one another. They are at axial position and they are anti to one another. So that can be eliminated out, and it will proceed with E2 mechanism. E2 elimination reaction will happen at this place, right? So reaction will happen, there will be no problem at that time. When we are concerned about this one, you can see that this hydrogen is also anti to this chlorine, and when we talk about this hydrogen is also anti to this particular chlorine, right? So it can be eliminated out and it will give rise to the reaction in that case. When we are discussing about the dehydrohalogenation of cis 1-chloro 2-methyl cyclohexane, you can see the chair conformation of this particular isomer, the cis 1-chloro 2-methyl cyclohexane. It will exist in this one, in which the chlorine is at axial position and this CS3 is at equatorial position, and these two hydrogens are at axial position. So when it will undergo the ring flipping, at that time you can see that CS3 is now at axial position and Cl is now at equatorial position. When we talk about the E2 elimination reaction, dehydrohalogenation reaction, you can see that this hydrogen is anti to this chlorine and this hydrogen is also anti to this chlorine. So both can be eliminated out in E2 mechanism and will give rise to two products. When this hydrogen is eliminated out, you are getting this product, and this product is basically di-substituted alkene, right? I was discussing about the Sadjev rule. This is basically di-substituted alkene, and when this hydrogen is eliminated out from this one, it will give rise to this alkene, and this is tri-substituted. When we talk about the Sadjev rule, when we talk about the stability of the alkene, you know that this alkene is more substituted as comparison to the above one. So we can very clearly say that when there is a choice, there is a chance, and when there is two eliminating groups, both are anti to the chlorine, dehydrohalogenation, if we are particularly concerned about the reaction, then the major product will be the more substituted alkene, means which one is more stable at that time. So that will be the major product, and this product will be the minor product, right? So we were talking about the case of this cis 1 chloro 2 methyl cyclohexane. When the same rule is now applied to the trans isomer, that is trans 1 chloro 2 methyl cyclohexane, when this will undergo dehydrohalogenation reaction in case of cyclohexane system, at that time we can see that this is the one conformer, this is the one conformation in which this Cl and this particular CS3 both are at equatorial position. When we flip the ring, at that time we can see that this CS3 and chlorine both are at axial position. Now, as we know that as far as the stability is concerned, when this is at this position, it will be more stable as comparison to this one, and you can see from this one that this will be more stable as comparison to this one. So now, as you know that hydrogen at this particular carbon, which is having the CS3 group, is at equatorial position, and this chlorine is at axial position. So when we talk about this beta hydrogen, this is not at axial position, this is not at anti-position to this chlorine, so it will not be eliminated out now. But this hydrogen, this beta hydrogen is anti to this chlorine, so now it will be eliminated out, so you will get a single product only. But as far as the previous example, that is cis 1 chloro 2 methyl cyclohexane is concerned, you were getting two type of the products, in which one product was in major quantity and the second product was in minor quantity. When we changed the isomer, we took the trans isomer at that time, because E2 elimination, if we are particularly talking about E2 elimination, there is only one condition, and that one condition is that you can only eliminate this hydrogen and this chlorine, because this hydrogen is now not at antiposition to this chlorine, so it will explain that antiposition will be the more favored condition for the E2 elimination. So you are getting only this alkene as the only product, and no other alkene will be synthesized from this one. There is one more example by which you can clearly see that anti-elimination will happen in case of E2 elimination reaction, E2 mechanism. This is the case of cyclic compound, for example tert butyl cyclohexyl tosylate, in which you can see that this is the tosylate group, which is a leaving group, and you can see that this tosylate is at axial position and this tert butyl, being a bulky group, is at equatorial position as far as the stability is concerned. When we talk about the elimination reaction, you can see that this is the beta hydrogen, and this beta hydrogen is now at axial position, and this hydrogen and this tosylate group both are anti to one another, and when they are subjected to this particular elimination reaction in presence of a base, E2 elimination will happen, E2 mechanism will happen, and you are getting 4 tert butyl cyclohexane as one of the products. If same reaction is now allowed to occur in case of trans isomer, you can see here you are taking the trans isomer, in which the tert butyl group and this tosylate group both are equatorial to one another. When these both are equatorial to one another, at that time you can see that the E2 elimination will not happen now, because for E2 elimination you know that the requirement is anti-periplanar of the two groups, but here the two groups are not in anti-periplanar shape, anti-periplanar geometry. So this particular trans isomer will now undergo even reaction, means the leaving group will be eliminated out and it will give rise to C positive, that will lose the H positive and will give rise to this particular product. And this even reaction, my dear student, this even reaction will be accompanied by SN1 reaction also, and you are also getting the nucleophilic substituted product as well beside the even reaction also. So this is the beauty of this reaction, that you know that E2 elimination reaction is basically a trans elimination reaction, basically an anti-elimination reaction, but when the stability of the product is concerned, you know, different kind of the product can also be synthesized during that course. We have discussed about the acyclic system. We have discussed about the cyclic system, in which I told you about the cyclopentane ring and I told you about the cyclohexane ring. When we are particularly talking about the bicyclo system, this is a kind of very rigid molecule in which the two groups, they cannot attain the anti-geometry, they cannot attain the anti-shape, they cannot be anti to one another. At that time, what will happen? At that time, instead of anti-elimination, syn elimination may happen. For example, this is a case. This is a case of NNN trimethyl 3 deuterio bicyclo 2,2,1 2 heptyl ammonium hydroxide, in which this is the leaving group and this is the deuterium. And when we talk about this deuterium, this is coplanar with the leaving group, but the hydrogen is not at coplanar position. So the deuterium will be eliminated out and it will be lost during the course of reaction and will give rise to the product, and the product will be bicyclo 2,2,1 2 heptane, right? So this is not the case always that the two groups must be anti to one another. We have the case of rigid molecules that may have syn type of elimination reaction and you can get the product. The example is in front of you on the screen. So that is the case. When we discuss more about the syn elimination, at that time, this particular elimination, that is the anti and syn, it will also depend upon the ring size. You can see on the screen, you can see, my dear students, that this is the cyclobutyl. The chance of syn elimination is 90%. When the same system we take in case of cyclopentyl, this is the case of cyclopentyl, the syn elimination will be 47% only. When the same is now taken to cyclohexyl, at that time you can see that the chance of syn elimination is now only 4%, not 40, that's mistake, it's only 4%. Cyclohexyl, you can see that only 4% of syn elimination will happen and the rest one will be the anti-elimination. When we talk about the cycloheptyl, again it has been increased to 37%, that is syn elimination to 37%, right? Now this is the case, you can see that this is the phenyl and this is the tosylate group, right? When we talk about this one and it is subjected to react with the base, the bulky groups are on the same side, so it is not a stable one and it will not be eliminated out. When we talk about this one, this is basically a more stable conformation, right? And this is basically a transposition of this particular OTS, and phenyl position. So here the hydrogen will be eliminated from this one, and the tosylate group will be eliminated from this position, and it will give rise to this particular product. So when we talk about the syn elimination and anti-elimination, it will also depend upon the ring size. And in case of cyclobutyl, you can see it is only 90%, cyclopentyl it is 47%, cyclohexyl it is 4%, cycloheptyl it is 37%. You can see it here on your screen. So this is about the stereochemistry of this particular product, this particular E2 mechanism. When we talk about the stereochemistry, see, there is an example. This is CS3 group, this is chlorine, and this one is isopropyl group. You can see, my dear students, that when this substrate will react with NaOEt, sodium ethoxide, at that time what will happen? What will happen at that time? You can see that this is the beta hydrogen and this is the beta hydrogen. This particular substrate will undergo the dehydrohalogenation reaction, and the product of this reaction will be this one. The majority of the product will be this one. This will be the major product. And when we talk about the minor product will be like this one. This will be the minor product. Now, what is the reason that this product is the major one and the second product I wrote is the minor one? What is the reason behind that? First of all, please see it that this substrate will undergo dehydrohalogenation reaction, so hydrogen can be eliminated from this one as well as from this position. Now I will draw a chair conformation of this particular compound, and from that conformation you can easily see that which one will be the favored configuration. When we talk about the chair conformation of this particular, you can see that this is the chlorine, this is the hydrogen, this is the isopropyl group, and this is the CS3 group. So the chlorine will be eliminated from this position, and this is the hydrogen which is at axial position, and this is another hydrogen which is at axial position. So both these hydrogens can be eliminated out, and you can see that in one of my example I told you that in such a situation you will get two kind of the products because you are having choice. So one product will be synthesized in major quantity and the second product will be synthesized in minor quantity. When we talk about this particular dehydrohalogenation, that hydrogen will be eliminated from this one and chlorine from this side, at that time you will get the more substituted alkene, that will be the major compound, right? And from this one you will get the less substituted alkene, and this will be the minor product at that time, my dear student. So this is the beauty of this kind of reaction, that you can write different type of configurations, and from that different type of elimination reaction will occur at that time. I was also talking about the regioselectivity of this reaction. When we talk about the regioselectivity, There is an example. You can see that on your screen that you have this one. This is a case of alkyl bromide. When this is subjected to react with E2 elimination in presence of a base, at that time you can see that you will get two kind of the products. And when we talk about the two products, at that time you can see what are the products that have been synthesized. One, you will get this product, and the another you will get this product. That is, this is A, and students, this is B. From this particular alkyl halide, you will get A and B, and these two products will be synthesized. So basically, it will tell you about the regioselectivity of this reaction. And whatever the base we have taken here, it will all depend upon the base, that what will be the percentage of A and B. For example, when we have taken sodium ethoxide as base, note it down, when we have taken sodium ethoxide as a base, at that time you will find that the A will be in 63% and B will be only 37%. At in presence of the base sodium ethoxide. When we are talking about the other base, for example, we are taking tert butoxide. We are taking tert butoxide. What will happen at that time, dear students? At that time, the product ratio will change. Now, the A will be in 28% in presence of tert butoxide, and B will be in 72%. So the regioselectivity of this type of reaction will be, controlled by the type of base that have been taken during the course of reaction. So that's all about the stereochemistry of this particular E2 reaction, regioselectivity of this E2 reaction. Tomorrow we will discuss some more important points of this particular reaction and the orientation in this type of reaction. What will different type of the orientation of this in this reaction will happen, and some more interesting fact about the E1 reaction and E1 CB reaction.